Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today's video, I am doing a what I've been watching for this last week. So I got 4 movies that I'm going to be talking about that I watched this last week. And so see what they are here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a Saturday night. Bringing you here my what I've been watching over this last week. I just got done just a couple hours ago on a live stream on Mike's Did You See That live stream. We did a little over 3 hours, I think 3 hours and like 10 minutes or something, or 15 minutes on our top 10 favorite Christmas movies with Mike and D Movie Man and myself. So we did a pretty long stream, pretty worn out. I had to kind of rest and recharge my phone. And so I really wanted to get this out. Like I try to do every Friday or Saturday, get a video out, just doing some mini movie reviews of some stuff I saw streaming over last week. Anyway, so I got 4 movies today, and it's gonna be interesting because they're new. Most of them are pretty new movies that just came out recently, and 2 of them I really did not like. I mean, I really did not like these movies. The 2 other movies I thought were really good. So we got 2 bad reviews and 2 good reviews. And the 2 movies that I really did not like are 2 movies that are getting a lot of good positive reviews. Most people really like these movies, and they're getting a lot of Oscar buzz. And so I'm kind of shocked by how much I did not like these movies. So we'll see. I'm interested in what people probably think something's wrong with me here. But we'll start with the 2 movies that I did not like, and we'll try to end with the positive of the movies I really liked. So I'm going to start with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which came out on Netflix just a week or so ago. This is pretty highly anticipated movie, it feels like. A lot of people are talking about this. I've been hearing a lot of like, oh, this is the best animation movie of the year. It's been getting award nominations so far, and from what I've heard, it's the front runner for best animation movie, probably at the Oscars. It's a stop-motion animation, of course, from Guillermo del Toro, who I don't think this is the first time he's ever done stop-motion, so it's kind of interesting. He has a bit of a Tim Burton-ish style to him. I feel like he does a very dark tale, which Tim Burton likes to do in his stop-motion. And so it has a very interesting design overall of the Pinocchio. And it's funny. We just got Pinocchio, the Disney Pinocchio, live-action remake Pinocchio, this last year, which a lot of people didn't like. I really like that movie. It's like one of my favorite movies of the year, and nobody really liked it. And everybody's like, well, wait till Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio comes out. That's going to blow you out of the water, and that's going to be the superior Pinocchio. And so I had some anticipation of like, oh, I'm thinking this is going to be a good one. And man, I was watching this and I was like, wow, this is a really terrible movie. Like early on, I was like, I am not liking this movie. And as I'm watching it, it gets worse and worse. And by the end, I'm like, wow, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I'm like, why is everybody loving this movie? I just don't get it. And, you know, and a lot of I think it's because I'm not a fan of Guillermo del Toro's style, because he has this very weird, dark style to him. You know, a lot of his movies are pretty weird. Pan's Labyrinth. I do like Hellboy 2, The Golden Army is, I think, a really good movie. But like Shape of Water, I did not like. I'm sure there's some other ones if I think about it. Oh, he did one just last year that got nominated for Best Picture that I really did not like. Anyway, so I don't know. I think it's a Guillermo del Toro thing, maybe, that he's got this really dark, weird style about him that just doesn't resonate with me, and other people love it, I think. So I don't know. He's just one of those directors that just don't do it for me. And I think that's what ruined this movie for me. It's a very dark movie. And the whole design of like Pinocchio is very weird, and in the Jiminy Cricket looks a little strange, but yeah, it's overall didn't like the style of the movie or the design. Really got me out of it, and it just came out. And this is a Pinocchio story that we've known. This is the 3rd Pinocchio I've seen, you know, from the original Disney animation to the live remake that came out this year, and now the stop motion animation. And this does not follow the Pinocchio story hardly at all. this goes way in a different direction. I mean, it barely resembles the Pinocchio story. So it was a bit of a shock watching it. And I know Pinocchio, and I was really liking the Disney one. So I'm like, all right, I'm interested in seeing how the stop animation goes. And then it's like, wow, this story really went off the deep end. It went way off into left field. And I was like, what is going on in this movie? This is going some weird places. And I was not enjoying it at all. And I don't know if this resembles the original story, because I've never read the original story. So I don't know if the original story might be dark and disturbing like this movie, and maybe I wouldn't like the original story, but I do like the Disney story of it, and there's a lot of good things there. And this movie just lacked all the charm of the original story that I love from Disney. And just, yeah, it lacked any charm. It lacked any, there's nothing to like about the characters. Like, Pinocchio's a real jerky brat. And Geppetto, I don't know if his name's even Geppetto. I feel like they maybe gave him a different name, but the guy that, you know, that's like Geppetto that made Pinocchio, he's a very unlikable character. I thought he was a jerk throughout, and I was like, I don't like this guy. All the townsfolk are really terrible towards Pinocchio, and I'm like, man, everybody's really just terrible. And then, to spoil the movie just a little bit, he gets recruited by the Nazi party, basically, to go fight for the Nazis in World War II. I think they're in Italy or something. And this Nazi German like guy or whatever is like, oh, we need to recruit him into the army for the Nazis because he's made out of wood and he's indestructible, basically, and he can't die. So he's like the perfect soldier because he can kill and not get killed. And I'm like, I was not expecting Nazis to get involved in this Pinocchio story. So it definitely is not your family-friendly, you know, Disney like Pinocchio story. I'm like, this went to a really dark place that I just did not care for. And he joins a Nazi party, and then like the Nazi youth, and is training to be a soldier. And it's like, I'm just like so confused by the storyline. I'm like, surely this is, I don't know if this is the original story or what, or this is something just Guillermo Toro maybe just made up on his own, but it was so crazy. And I was just not enjoying anything about this movie. And it's definitely one of the worst. And what makes it worse is like, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Like, and I feel almost kind of, you know, bamboozled, you know, by everybody that says it's great. And I watch and go, what am I watching that's different than what they're watching? I don't know what, just have a different, I just look at movies differently, I guess. And so it's one of those movies where I'm like, man, I know everybody loves this movie, but I may be alone, but I have to say, it was a terrible movie. I give it a half star, the worst rating I can give it anyways. And I can not recommend this movie at all to anybody. Anyways, it's funny, I did this review on my Letterboxd app, and somebody I never met, don't know anything about, don't follow them, they don't follow me, just random person, went on my movie Letterboxd review that I did on Pinocchio, and just replied, dude missed the point, which I guess I'm the dude that missed the point. He's saying, you know, this idiot here just doesn't understand this movie. I'm like, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't understand it. Maybe I don't get the point of Guillermo Toro's Pinocchio. It's lost on me. Maybe there's something deep that's great that I'm too stupid to understand. I don't know. If it is, I'm sorry. I just didn't get it. And if there's some great point, then I guess it just didn't do a good enough job of getting that point across to me. And so in my stupid brain, I didn't get it. But anyways, I didn't like that movie. Going on to another movie I was really super disappointed in. I thought it was really, really horrible. And that is the Banshees of Inishirin. This is one I was really looking forward to, kind of, because it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. It's one of the frontrunners, I think, for Best Picture. I would say it's one of 3 movies I feel like right now. Of course, things could change during the award season. But definitely getting all the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Picture. And a lot of awards for acting for Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, Carrie Condon, what's her name? So everybody's getting Oscar nominations. It's supposed to be this like wonderful dark comedy, I guess. It's been, and I remember watching the trailer for this early on in the year. I feel like I remember seeing the trailer, and I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this movie looks really stupid and it looks terrible. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie. I don't get this movie just from the trailer. I'm just like this doesn't look like, I don't know what's going on in this movie. But then everybody started coming out with reviews going, oh, this is a really great movie, and people are getting really high praise, and all of a sudden it's getting award buzz, like it's one of the best movies of the year. So I thought, oh, okay, maybe there's something that they didn't show in the trailer that's really cool, or the dialogue maybe is better than what I saw in the trailer. Maybe it's a funny movie, and so I'm like, okay. So now I started looking forward to this movie, and I was like, man, this is one of the highlight, movies I was really anticipating, kind of, as soon as it got down, to where I can watch it on streaming. And it was on HBO Max this last week, so I was able to watch it on streaming. And so I got around to it, and I'm watching it, and it's like, it takes place on this like island in Ireland, and man, from the very first shot, it is so beautiful. Like, you're like, man, I want to go to this island. Ireland, anytime you see, movies about Ireland, man, Ireland looks so beautiful. I really want to visit Ireland someday, because like I love, of course, it's on the coast of the ocean, whatever. It looks beautiful. And then I love the stone fences and the green grass. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, it looks so cool. Anyway, so from the first shot, you're like, wow, this looks beautiful. Like, I'm already kind of enjoying this. Anyways, and then the plot really kind of starts really from the beginning. And the whole plot is Colin Farrell's character, Pollock, goes to visit his friend, played by Brendan Gleeson, Colm, and he doesn't want to talk to him. And he's like, what's going on? Why are you avoiding me? And and it's like they've been friends for a long time. And he says, I just don't want to be friends with you anymore. I think you're a dull person. You're a boring, I guess, person to talk to. And I just want to spend the rest of my life not talking to boring people and doing other things. Like, he's a big fiddle player. He loves playing the violin or whatever. And he's like really good at it. And he's writing like music for it. And he's like, it's like, yeah, I just don't want to talk to you anymore. I just don't want to have anything to do with you. I just want to spend my time talking, I guess, more interesting people. Anyway, so it's a very strange plot. I mean, just right away, I'm like, this is a really weird plot for a movie. And so I'm like, okay, where's this going to go? Anyway, so the movie is maybe a little less than 2 hours or something. But the whole movie is revolved around this one stupid thing where these two people, I guess, don't get along. And it's a small island, so they can't really avoid each other, because it's like they only have one pub, they only have one church. So they always are coming across each other's paths. But it's like this thing where the whole movie, all the conversations are about, I can't believe Colm won't talk to me anymore. And, and he talks to his sister. There's another guy named Dominic, played by Barry Keoghan. And, they're talking and like, why won't he talk to me? And I'm like, who cares? Like, who gives a crap? This guy doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Like, that's not enough to make a movie around. Like, I just don't get it. And I'm watching it going, this is the stupidest plot idea I've ever seen in my life. And the movie is so kind of depressing and boring, and there's just no plot. It's just the most pointless movie I've ever like had to sit down and watch and think. And I'm sitting there going, okay, this is supposed to be a great movie. It's supposed to be the best movie of the year. When is something good going to happen in this movie? And I kept waiting for something good to happen. And I go, I don't think anything good is going to happen in this movie. It's just going to be a miserable movie experience. And it was a miserable movie experience. And it's somewhat comedic, but I didn't really laugh that much in it. Nothing really that funny. It was just like, what is good? Who cares about these people? These people are all dull. Like, I don't care about any of these people. And none of them are likable. None of them are people that I really care to spend any time with. And here I'm sitting there this movie going, gosh, they're just endless talking about the fact these two people aren't getting along, Anyways, and none of the performances are anything special. And I love Brendan Gleeson. Like, I'd love to see him win an Oscar, because I think he's a great character actor that's been around for a while, since Braveheart, since I saw him back in '95. I loved him. Anyways, Barry Keoghan, who's kind of an actor I've been seeing in stuff lately, who I think is a pretty interesting actor. He plays Dominic, and he's the most annoying, most obnoxious character ever made on screen. I'm watching him going, man, this character is so annoying. And he's supposed to get an Oscar nomination. I'm just like, this is just an annoying character. Anyways, nothing happens in this movie. Absolutely nothing happens in this movie. I mean, that's anything interesting. Like, and I guess I won't go into detail. I've said enough about the movie, but the choices that the characters make is so stupid. I say stupid because I just can't think of another word. It's just so stupid. All the choices the characters make, and it all of a sudden just ends, and nothing gets resolved. And it's just like, what was the point? Again, there's no point. I don't get why people like this movie. I'm too stupid probably to understand the deeper meaning. Whatever it is, I didn't like it. So that's Banshees of Inishirin. So sorry, another half star. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And those are two bad ones. Okay, I don't have much time because I ran it on the bad ones. So I try to get to these good ones best I can. Okay, the next one is one that nobody's talking about that I think is one of the best movies of the year. And it is a movie called, I can't even say the word, Emancipation is the name of the movie. It came on Apple Plus. It stars Will Smith. Is his next big movie after he just won the Oscar last year for King Richard. So this is like his next movie. Of course, the whole problem with the movie is really not the movie, but the outside with Will Smith is all over this controversy. Of course, he wins the Oscar for Best Actor after he slaps Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. Terrible moment. Really, it was killing his career this whole year. And it's been such a huge scandal for him. And he's come off as a very unlikable person. And so here he's got this really Oscar-type movie role as a slave who in Louisiana who escapes his slave owners and tries to get to the north, where it's during the Civil War. So he's trying to get north to where the Northern Army is taken over, so that, because he heard that the Emancipation Proclamation means all slaves are free in the North. So he's trying to get to the North, get his freedom, and then hopefully come back and get his family, because he has a wife and kids. And so from the very beginning, he gets taken away from his family to go help build railroads for the South. And so he kind of has this promise, like, to his wife and kids that he's going to come back and get them, you know. And so the whole movie, he's very, you know, never gives up hope that he can eventually get away, eventually save his family, you know. So it'd be an easy time to give up hope, and he's up against the odds. So I just love the character and how he keeps moving on even through bad parts, bad times. Of course, anytime you deal with slavery, it's always a hard subject matter, because you do see slaves get beat up in the movie. You see them get tortured, kind of, you know, you see horrible things happen to them. And so that's not fun to watch. So at first I was kind of watching it like it's another movie about slavery, which is always tough, but can be done well. Like in 12 Years a Slave, I think is a very good movie, and they do a real good job with that. So I wasn't sure. And then he escapes at one point. The whole movie, most of the movie is him escaping through Louisiana, where he has like three kind of guys that work for the army that are, you know, hunting him down. I know we call them. And Ben Foster plays like the main one, the main evil guy that's trying to hunt him down and, you know, probably kill him, if not capture him. Anyways, and so he's going through these swamplands, and there's alligators, and there's just horrible situations, and he's being shot at. And so it's a pretty nice, you know, kind of thriller type movie for most of it, where he's just trying to, you know, get through these really bad, you know, surroundings. And it's pretty good overall for that. And then there's actually surprisingly like a moment at the end of the movie where he gets free, and I'm spoiling a little bit of it, but I have to just say, like, at one point he gets free and he gets into the Northern Army. In fact, the Northern Army was like, hey, we need you to join the army up here, the Northerners, so we can defeat the South, and then we can, you know, you can help win freedom for all the slaves. And so he's given kind of a choice, but he's kind of almost forced into the army, which he takes on. And then the last like 30 minutes of the movie is like a Civil War movie, which I was not expecting. But this movie is shot so well. The director is named Fuqua. I'm forgetting that his first name, but a really good director. I really enjoy a lot of stuff, and he's really good at shooting stuff. But the cinematography is so amazing in this movie. Like, to me, it should be... It's not getting any award buzz, and I don't know if that's because of Will Smith. Maybe that's why he's not getting any award buzz, but or the movie isn't. But to me, this should be like a best cinematography movie. I mean, the guy who does the cinematography has already won like 3 Oscars for best cinematography. So, I mean, the cinematography is absolutely amazing, beautiful. It's shot incredibly well, especially the Civil War scenes where they're in battle, and the camera like just pans over this battlefield, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, when I'm watching here, like, this is what filmmaking is. This is what a really good filmmaker is. This is how you shoot film. And nobody's talking about this movie. And I don't know if it's because of Will Smith, but it's almost a shame, because it's a really good movie. I was really into this movie. Like, I was kind of into it, and then when I got to the battle scenes, I was like really into the movie, and I was like, wow. And let me say, Will Smith, best performance I've ever seen of him. I think he's a really good actor. Obviously won the Oscar for Best Actor for King Richard, and he's done some other really great work. And so he's really one of those actors, almost not underrated because he's an Oscar winner, but one of those that, yeah, definitely one of the top actors working today. Unfortunately, he ruined all that by the slapping Chris Rock. But in saying that, he gives an absolutely great performance. And to me, he should win the Oscar for Best Actor, except he already won it. And the Academy, I don't think, can nominate him because he's on a 10-year ban or something from the Academy. I don't know if that means he can't be nominated or he just can't be at the awards itself, but that definitely killed any of his chances. I feel like if he didn't have that scandal, this could be an Oscar-type performance. I mean, he has an accent. You don't even know it's Will Smith. I mean, it looks like Will Smith, but I don't know, the way he acts, it's just, I've never seen him perform like that before. And he has like an African accent during the whole thing, and he's just very intense. It's a very intense role, of course, and very grueling role. What he has to do it reminds me of The Revenant. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio on The Revenant. It's that kind of level where just horrible things are happening to him, and it's like almost these impossible situations he has to get through. And it's not always fun to look at, but it's amazing at the same time. Anyways, but there's this part where he gets into the Northern Army, and one of his commanders, says to him, are you a fighter or are you a runner? Because he just, escaped, enslavement basically and ran. And so he's asking him, are you capable of fighting for us? And Will Smith gives this speech that is absolutely incredible. Like, I'm like, man, give this guy an Oscar. This is such a great speech. Talking about, all the bad things that have happened to him in his life, and being in slavery and being beaten up, being tortured, going through all this stuff. And he tells him, I am a fighter. And tears are going down his face as he's saying this. And I'm like, wow, this is a really amazing performance. And I say, watch, I can't recommend this enough. You have to go watch this movie. And just for Will Smith perform. I mean, if like, I don't like Will Smith really right now, and I'm still like just over heels over this performance. And so I say, watch this just for his performance, and for the filmmaking ability is just like absolutely incredible. And all the performances are pretty good, and it's very emotional. The ending is a very satisfying, emotional movie that just makes you just so happy. Anyway, so yes, please go watch Emancipation. Watch the other movies if you want. You might like them. I said I'm the weird one. I don't like those other two, but I'm running out of time. So I had another movie I was going to mention that I really liked, but I'm gonna have to do that another time. So my time is up. And so, but yeah, those are 3 movies I guess I'm gonna cover for this time. I had to talk a lot because I had so much to say about these 3 movies. It was hard to keep it down. But anyways, tell me if I'm an idiot. Go ahead, whatever. Maybe I don't understand movies, but yeah, feel free to comment what you think about what these movies, what I think about them. Did you really love these movies? Did you not like them? Whatever, I'll read them. Try to comment back as long as you're polite and respectful. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And I just want to thank all of the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you all. I hope you have a good day.